Good morning. I talk loud. I got something for you. I have a contest. You like cooking?
I like cooking.
Okay,
yeah.
here we go. So what's in our supercomputer? We work with the New York Culinary Institute. We had the top chefs in the United States. We taught this supercomputer everything about cooking, everything about food, everything in the world. We said, produce a cookbook. It produced a cookbook.
No.
What was the number one ingredient an artificial intelligence would fall in love with? What ingredient, number one in the whole world of all ingredients, all spices, all fruits, vegetables, what's the number one thing it put in every single food? And the chef said, we would never use it, but of course. What was it? Anybody? Guess. Number one ingredient, and it wasn't ketchup. Don't say ketchup.
I was saying also olive oil, garlic.
Garlic. This is not Italy, no. More, come on. Water. What do you cook?
Soup.
Anybody? Salt?
Pepper.
You're a little bit boring. Chili? Ladies and gentlemen, coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. The next time you have a date on a Friday night, put a little coffee in the food. Okay? Got it?
Watson is wonderful. We'll have coffee, by the way, afterwards.
Absolutely. Let's get into this. All right?
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. Good morning. Listen, I only have 18 minutes and 39 seconds, so let's jump into it. All of you have been lied to about artificial intelligence. So I want to make sure that you never get lied to ever again. You've been told that you're going to lose your job to a supercomputer, to artificial intelligence, to a robot. It's all a lie. Are you guys ready to be woken up? Anybody seen the movie The Matrix, when you take the red pill and the blue pill? And everybody seen the movie The Matrix in Helsinki? Yes. Okay, let's wake up. Here we go. Do you see that stock chart up on the top? All of you, did you know that 70% of all stock transactions are done by an algorithm, by artificial intelligence? 70%. So every time a stock is bought, is a computer reading information from all over the world, and it says, I want to sell at this price. And there's another algorithm going, I'll buy it. An algorithm going, I want to sell. No, thank you. When you look at that stock chart up there, it's not a boring stock chart. What you're actually looking at are algorithms. You're actually looking at artificial intelligence talking to each other. A moment ago, I asked her about cooking and asked her what was her favorite ingredient and what did Watson like, which is, said coffee. That's a conversation. That's an algorithm going, hi, how are you? I'm doing fine. What are you to make today? I don't know. Do you like coffee? Oh, yeah. That's the conversation. Do you know that the very first algorithm that started buying and selling stocks was in the 1980s? It was on a Tuesday afternoon. A very wealthy stock investor, he said, this is interesting. I would like to have an algorithm, some computer program that will be able to read all this information and then tell me what stock to buy before anybody else. It was a Tuesday afternoon. He offered $1 million to anybody who could write a program by Friday afternoon. A company came on Friday afternoon and they got the $1 million. How much was $1 million in 1980s? Was that good money? Yes? Some people not moving. I guess you have a lot more money than $1 million today. Very wealthy crowd, good. But do you understand that the computers have been talking to us since the 1980s? Look at the other picture. Do all of you remember May 6, 2010? 3 o'clock in the afternoon in New York City. Do you all remember how the world changed? Do some of you not remember May 6, 2010? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all of a sudden the New York Stock Exchange dropped $1 billion instantly. Do you know what happens when $1 billion disappears from the New York Stock Exchange? Do you know what happened around countries around the world? They immediately had emergency meetings saying, what do? We are under attack. Do you see that? That is a global crisis. It's not a physical attack, it is a financial attack against the country. Several countries around the world said, we need to have a meeting, we need to have a discussion. You know 3 different statuses that the countries have? It is, green, we're fine, yellow, warm up the nukes, red, shoot the nukes. Several countries, when that thing dropped, they immediately said, let's go yellow. But they asked a very important question. If we go yellow, and we potentially go red, who are we shooting at? Interesting. Fortunately, 15 minutes later, it came right back up. After several weeks of due diligence, they came to two conclusions because they want to know who the hell pushed that button? Who did that? Who almost brought Armageddon to the planet Earth? Did you guys know we almost wiped each other out on May 6, 2010? Or were you guys too busy skiing or something like that, watching the Olympics, like everybody's doing now? After several weeks of due diligence, they realized two things. Number one, there was no one person or company that pushed the button. Their second conclusion scared them the most, and it was never official. Their conclusion was that if 70% of all stock transactions are done by artificial intelligence, then on May 6, 2010 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all the algorithms in the world got together to take down mankind. Anybody ever seen a movie, Judgment Day? Anybody know what movie I'm talking about? Terminator. You guys don't talk, but that's okay. You'll talk a little while later. Where do you think Hollywood gets this from? May 6, 2010. Don't you understand? This stuff is not coming. Artificial intelligence is nothing to be feared. It has been part of our life. If you're 30 years old or younger, you haven't lived a day or a moment in your life without an algorithm affecting and controlling you. If you look at the clothes that you got on, and every bit of clothes that you have on now has been manipulated or affected by an algorithm. This stuff is not coming. It's been here for 30 years. Do not let them scare you. It's not coming. It's already here. Everybody got it? Anybody want to jump on the stage and go? You don't do that in Helsinki. You guys are too calm. I bet you if it was a Friday night, everybody would be up here. All right? Let's show you some more lies. Do you see that wonderful picture in the corner with the robot holding the baby and the mommy? Oh, it's okay, little guy. The robot's here to help us. This is a wonderful hospital. This is a lie. This is another lie that they're selling you. There's not a single hospital, clinic, or doctor in the world that has a robot, a piece of plastic, helping out babies and mommies. They just sell you these pictures because it touched your emotions. Don't you understand? That is not true. No place in the world. They had to set that picture up. It probably cost them $1 million just to take that photo. It's not true. The picture to the left, the picture here, that's a picture taken in Japan. It was published last week. I found it. That is the state of the art of computers and robots in healthcare today. Robots. Do you see the robot with the bunny ears? I don't know what to call it. It says bear. It's got like a super pack on the back. I don't know. In Japan, that culture is totally different. They love robots. The most they will let a robot do, when a human being, when we need caring and we're sick and we need help, in Japan, who's been using robots for decades, only thing they allow a robot to do is pick you up. Because one thing we learned is when we're sick and we need help, we need a human being to look us in the eye and talk to us. What we've learned is that eye contact, love, can never be replaced with a written algorithm. Does everybody remember the first time they fell in love? Everybody remember that moment? Remember that? Does everybody remember the first moment you gave that first kiss? Everybody remember the first kiss? We're having a very Finnish moment right now. See, now you guys laugh. You guys like the kiss, huh? Interesting crowd. Write an algorithm for that first moment when you kissed that person, when your stomach was turning, your hands were cold, you were sweating, but you have got to kiss them. Write an algorithm for that. It's not possible. Do you understand? They're never going to replace us. They're here to help us. In healthcare, artificial intelligence, and I work for IBM, we've been working with Watson. With Watson's an amazing thing. 2 years ago, Watson was able to read 1 million pages in 3 seconds. Today's Watson able to read 3 million pages in 1 second. And we've been working with Memorial Sloan Kettering, feeding Watson all this information in the area of cancer. And this is Watson. It's just software on an iPad. It's not a damn robot. Artificial intelligence is just software. That's all it is. We put Watson on a Apple iWatch because we thought it was real cool because we're a bunch of nerds. And the doctors are so old, they couldn't read it. So they say, please give us an iPad. We were frustrated by that. But what you're seeing there, in 50 plus hospitals around the world, they're using Watson to help people with cancer. So what you're seeing right there in that picture is she's an actual doctor. She has 20 years of experience. When she walks into the room with Watson on the iPad, Watson has read a lot of information in the area of cancer. It's in the history of cancer, all the different drugs, all the different prescriptions, all the different clinical trials. Watson reads 9 different languages, and because it's cognitive, is able to connect the dots. It's able to understand all the different information, put it all together. So when she walks into the room, Watson has read all this information on cancer. Watson has read his electronic medical record. By the way, I forgot to say, he does have leukemia. He gave us permission to take this picture, so I want to thank him very much. And when she walks into the room, Watson has taken all the information up until the moment she walks into the room. It's connected all the information, looked at his situation, and it gives her a recommendation. It says, with 92.44% certainty, we recommend the following procedure, the following prescription for the next 24 hours. If this 2 o'clock in the morning, if she's asleep and a clinical trial, let's say in New Zealand, gets published that could help save his life, is it her fault that she's sleeping and she didn't read that clinical trial? No, it's not possible. What happened if that clinical trial is written in a language that she can't read? Is it her fault she can't read that language to help save his life? No. Do you understand? This software, the artificial intelligence there to help you, is not there to replace you. Do not fall for the lie. We've been doing this for years. What we see is that the software is there to help you. Is there to help you. Do you understand? Does everybody get it? Nod your head in a finished nod. Or this is a finished nod. Let's go through another one. Does anybody like to bicycle? Do you guys bicycle in Finland, or is it too damn cold like in Oslo? Yes? Yeah? Okay, there's one woman out of everybody. You're a champion. This is for you, all right? I'm dedicating this video to you. This is my boy, Dave. Dave, wave hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. Dave is the 2-time winner of the Race Across America. Race Across America is from New York City to San Francisco. He does that in 7 days. That's a lot of biking. Dave is a 2-time winner, and he came to us. He said, listen, I have this, €1 million bike. I have all these wonderful gadgets. I want to take it to the very next level. We said, fine. We want you to take this pill. So there's the pill. In that pill is a bunch of sensors. When Dave takes this pill and swallows the pill, all those pills, all those sensors tell us what's happening inside of his body, his blood pressure, his heart rate. We know everything that's happening in all his organs. So Dave took the pill, and when we shot this video, it was in 2016, and he was doing the race. So while he was doing the race, he was going up the steepest mountain in Colorado. And as he's going up the steepest mountain in Colorado, the pill is connected to Watson. Watson's monitoring Dave's body. Watson sends a message to a van. You'll see a van in a second. There's a van following Dave when he does his bike ride. And it told the van, get Dave off that bike and get him to a hospital. So the van grabbed Dave off the bike, took him to a hospital, and got him to the hospital. And for the next 6 hours, they shot him up with antibiotics. After 6 hours of taking antibiotics, Dave jumped. There he is on the bike, all right? He jumped, so they took him to the hospital, gave him 6 hours of antibiotics. After 6 hours of taking antibiotics, he jumped back on the bike, he finished the race, and he took second place that year. What happened was Dave started to get an infection in one of his organs. Watson, because Watson's monitoring Dave and monitoring his body every millisecond, it noticed exactly in a moment where his immune system started to go down and the parasites and bacteria started to multiply. Do you guys remember when you ever have a cold? You're like, oh, I'm feeling sick today. I must have touched something 3 days ago. Do you remember that doorknob you touched 3 days ago? Oh yeah, that was that doorknob that got me sick. Do you ever think that way? No? No. Nobody does. But this example, Watson actually was able to identify the moment he started to get sick. What's interesting was from this bicycle project that we had, there are startups all over the world offering the following service. They're saying, take this pill. If you take this pill, I guarantee you'll never be sick another day in your life. How many of you would take the pill? Not bad. I wish that was my startup. I would have made a lot of money right now. But this is the way it is. What's interesting about this is that we actually started doing this to help a cyclist, and what we uncovered potentially was almost, we think, maybe something to help people with all diseases. Interesting, isn't it? Let's show you another example. Does anybody want to meet the most destructive person in artificial intelligence world? Somebody who's going to destroy all your jobs? Is not a robot. Do you want to meet him? The guy you should fear the most? Is everybody ready? Yeah. You guys don't talk, but that's great. Here we go. The scariest person you ever seen, especially today. A 19-year-old teenager. His name is Josh. Josh got a parking ticket, and he didn't want to pay it. Anybody have teenagers at home? Everybody going through teenage hell? Oh, most of the men raised their hand. All right. I give you hugs, all of you guys. This sucks, doesn't it? So Josh got a parking ticket. He didn't want to pay it. So Josh went to a lawyer. He said, listen, get me out of this parking ticket. The lawyer said, I'll charge you $2,500 an hour, and I'll get you out of that parking ticket. So what did Josh do? Josh said, go to hell. And Josh went back to his dorm room, and that desk on that PC, he sat down with Watson. He fed into Watson everything in the legal industry on parking tickets. And in 3 hours, listen to me right now, this is important. In 3 hours, he was able to launch a service on this website, donotpay.co.uk, and there's a service. If you get a parking ticket in the United States, Canada, or the UK, you go to that website, and on the left side is Watson, on the right side is you. Watson says, was it hard to understand the signs? You go, nah, not really. Then Watson says, let me see what else could be the problem. Did you have to park quickly from some sort of emergency? No. So it's a Q&A with Watson. When you're done answering all the questions, Watson says, print out this form. Here's the mailing address. Mail it in. To this day, this scary teenager has saved over 5 million people from paying parking tickets for a total of $50 million. Now, here's the amazing thing. This is a website, so you can write it down if you get a parking ticket. He did it for free. He did it for free because he's a pissed off teenager and he had 3 hours of time. I presented this in a lawyer conference and I asked them, how much revenue do you make from little things like parking tickets? They said on average about 25 to 30%. This young man, 19-year-old kid, in 3 hours disrupted the entire legal business in the United States, Canada, and UK because he was a pissed off teenager. Do you understand how easy this stuff is to use? Do you understand that when you go back to your job and you go, this is our competitor? Yes, we're monitoring that competitor. Yes. We're in total control of our business. Bull. If you have how many pissed off teenagers are there in Helsinki? A whole bunch? Do you guys monitor them? No, you should. Do you understand? Any kid that's a teenager and got 3 hours, they should be on your radar. Are you guys nervous now? Anybody need to give a hug? Everybody start giving hugs. Helsinki, you guys like hugging? You laughed when I talked about kissing. Interesting group. Look at this one. This is interesting. This is the top 100 artificial intelligence companies in 2017. They're startups. These are companies that have not IPO'd. The top 100. Look at all the industries that they're in. They're everywhere. They're in your industry, and there's not one of them, there's many of them. They're not coming, they are here. They've been here. Do you got it? Now here's what's really interesting. That was last year. This is this year. Last year, total funding for all these companies, $6 billion. This year, $12 billion. The money is there and the money's flowing in. Now, this is what's really interesting. In this list here, of that list, only 10% made it to the next year. They're disrupting themselves. They're moving at a warp speed. What you have to ask yourself, are these my partners or are these my competitors? They are everywhere. This is your moment. Don't you understand? A teenager with only 3 hours of time was able to disrupt the legal business throughout the whole world. There's hundreds of companies from last year. 90% of them are new this year. The funding went from $6 billion to $12 billion, and this is the money flow. That big circle is where the most amount of money has gone in the last 365 days to fund artificial intelligence is news and media. I want to leave you with this final picture. This is an opportunity. Let me ask you a question. Do all of you remember graduation day? When you graduated, everybody remember getting their diploma? Remember how excited you were when you got the diploma? Like, yes, I could conquer the world. Do any of you feel that way right now? I got giggles. That's a no. What I'm telling you is this moment right now, this artificial intelligence moment, this artificial intelligence is your best friend. It's going to do all these amazing things. It's ready. It can read all these languages. It can computate hundreds of millions of things. This is your buddy. This is your moment where you can right now go back to that and go back and say, yes, now I can finish what I started when I graduated university. Now I can conquer the world. Do not be scared. Do not fall for the lie. This is your moment. You got it? Yes? Awesome. Have a great conference. Thank you very much.